Eggman is taking the life source of literal living beings. Let's dance! Let's break it down! This place used to be so peaceful until we brought in the rave music over here. Let's go! Woo! Oh my gosh, it's been, nearly a year since that outdated colors video. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that I feel like I need to update about it, especially since Ultimate came out and kinda, well, I guess I'll talk about it in my video here, but it changed how I look at colors in a way. But first things first, I want to explain that I was going to do a full playthrough of Colors Ultimate. Then, looking at my channel, I realized I probably have plenty of Colors content, so I don't need to worry too much about like providing Ultimate since it's mostly the same game. It has improvements and downgrades, which I'm going to talk about, but overall, gameplay-wise, and just in general, it's still Colors. But I guess now I will talk about what's different and just how I feel about Colors now. And I feel like that old video needs to be updated anyway, since it was pretty cringeworthy with some of the stuff I said and just the quality. Well, I liked that video and I was really proud of it at the time. Looking back at it, I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I want to redeem it, so anyway, let's get started. First, I want to talk about, like, the remaster itself. Like, it seems... Oh, wait. Alright, so to get talking about the remaster itself... Frick. I don't... Crap, this... this Lightning Warrior unscripted, but, like, maybe I should start doing scripted. No. Frick. Alright. So, as far as, like, the remaster itself goes, with all the lighting, like, the look, I think the graphics are really nice. In a lot of areas, I do think look better. Even Tropical Resort, I really like what they did with the lighting. It looks more realistic. But I still can't get over how nice it looked when it was completely lit up. And I know it'd be really weird and really hard to implement, but I really wish I could just switch between the two. I mean, I guess I can since I own Colors and Colors Ultimate. But still, I don't know. I can't choose a version of Tropical Resort I prefer. I think I mostly like the original one better. Mostly because the dirt in the game, they make it so dark for no reason, and I don't know why. Like, a lot of the game is dark or full of bloom, and that is an issue. It doesn't ruin the game for me, because overall I do think it looks really nice, especially for an 11-year-old game. But there definitely are some issues that people have argued that definitely have valid points. The menus, I love the customization. I love the achievements, because this is the first time I felt the need to 100% Sonic Colors. Like, I never did before. Because of the achievements and the 100% stuff, it really drove me to want to just do the best I can. It surprised me that I, like, pretty easily 100% it once I actually tried. Like, there are some issues, because the S ranks are actually challenging, and I appreciate that. It's not a thing with Colors Ultimate, just Colors in general. But I think the Jade Ghost Wisps actually does probably help, because that's like an extra wisp you can siphon points from. But as far as the customization portion of the menus goes, not only... I wish the menus weren't super laggy. I wish you could turn the Tails navigation stuff off once you're in the game, because I did that. Just hear the new lines by Kate Higgins. But then I realized I couldn't turn it off. It's not too bad since it barely gets in my way. It's just like the first act of the game that really bothers me. But it's still an option. Same with... no, I'll get to the music. But the customization. I love the gloves, shoes, aura, and boost. like everyone else, I think they should put at least movie Sonic in, if not a bunch of different skins for other characters. Or, for future reference, I think it could be cool to have, like, low poly Sonic, Sonic Adventure Sonic, Sonic Adventure 2 Sonic with, like, the soap shoes and everything. The plasticky Sonic from Heroes and Shadow. Even 06 Sonic if they're feeling ballsy. Put in Black Knight Sonic with a sword. It wouldn't do anything, but it'd be cool to see. That'd be like Secret Ring Sonic. He'd just have a sword, I guess. You have Unleashed and Gen Sonic, obviously, and then you have Color Sonic. Then you could have Movie Sonic. But the movie aura is really cool. It's the best aura there is. It still would have been cool to see actual customization. Maybe even just use, like, I really wish you could use the Sonic Simulator, like multicolored Sonic androids or robots or whatever. And they'd still have like their signal head antenna thing, but that would be cool to use on the main stages. Which I guess I'll use this segment to talk about gameplay. So yeah, going into it, the stages, they're Sonic Colors stages. Everyone complains about the Ghost Wisp, and yeah, they don't implement it properly. It definitely feels like it wasn't originally in the game, but I still like it in a lot of sections. It doesn't make the game too much better. The Ghost Wisp is kinda in its usage, but it gives me more to explore, and I always welcome that in my Sonic games, especially when lots of them are linear. And speaking of linear, that's why I like Colors. It's not a good boost game. I don't like how it's even labeled as a boost game. I don't blame fans for that because Sega labeled it as a boost game. And to be fair, the only other 3D boost game before that was Unleashed. And before then, the only things they knew a boost game needed was switching between 3D and 2D and Sonic going really fast. And that's pretty much all they had to go off. So at the time, Colors did feel like a evolution or a version of the Unleashed boost until Gens showed us what it truly is and what it should and could be. Yeah. That's another thing. With the boost customizations, I would have liked to see like Forces boost and Gens and Unleashed boost in there. Maybe even like a Sonic Rush boost. That would have been cool. Just to have many different types of boost. Sonic having the soap shoes, or like maybe Chip's bracelet, stuff like that they could still easily put on him. But anyway, back to gameplay. The core gameplay, I really like the exploration fact of Colors. You still want to go through the level fast, because if you take too long, you'll get a time's up thing that'll keep you from like getting a good rank on the stage of like at least an S. And then you get bonuses for everything. For just spamming A on the tricks, you get a bonus. For quick stepping, you get a bonus. For grinding, you get a bonus for using every wisp. And every wisp has its different bonus. Because like you'll hit a limit to once you use you can't spam the same wisp for like 25 uses and then keep expecting to keep stacking up bonus points. Eventually, it stops giving you some, but even if you use that wisp's color, power, bonus, or whatever, you still have other wisps that will start giving you theirs. Like, they each have a different limit, which I really like. Encourages you to go fast through the level and still explore and try to get all the red rings, or as many as possible. Some kind of can't all get them in one run all the time, but as long as you get enough, you can get an S rank. Just the rings. Do not lose your rings near the end, or else you're kind of screwed, almost. That's almost certainly what's going on. Yeah, the stages themselves, it's a fun game. I don't like it being labeled as a 3D game. I'm not going to say it's a 2D game, because it does have some nice 3D sections, but I think now that I've played through Colors a lot more, I realize that, yeah, there are a lot of 2D sections, and a lot of reused 2D sections at that. But I still find it to be a fun game. It doesn't bother me. but I at least understand why people are upset. It's labeled as a 3D game by Sega at least, and then they try to avoid using 3D mostly. But the game itself is a fun platformer. I don't necessarily think it's the best Sonic game, or it's what I want Sonic to be, but I think it's a really great game in general. Just as a Sonic game, I think it's just solid. The Wisp powers, like I said, the Wisp, I think, not only provide you incentive to use them, but most of the time you don't have to. There are a few sections where they're mandatory, but for most of the levels, you can skip them if you want. Or even if you want to use them, you're not using them for the entire level. You're just mostly using them in quick bursts to get some points or explore to get to a red ring. And I think they really enhance the gameplay of colors. Because you go through Super Sonic, while it's a cool bonus, and it's just insane that it took them that long to put Super Sonic in a 3D game, you can see like how boring the game kind of is without the Wisp exploration. But I don't think that's a bad thing, because that's the main gimmick, is the Wisp. And I think it actually works, because like you still have the Sonic gameplay, and the Wisp kind of mostly meld into that. You have the stuff with like the blue cube that kind of gives you that blocky platforming, which is not necessarily good, but a lot of the stuff I think truly does just enhance the flow, like the laser, I guess even the spikes. I think the frenzy is kind of nice when you slowly turn into like a just crazy energy beast of power. You start breaking through whatever, I forgot what they're called, but those cubes. The hover, I don't mind. People say they don't like the hover a lot of the time. I think it works, especially since it does have the Lightspeed Dash. I think Sonic should have had the Lightspeed Dash in the game, but unfortunately, because it was on the Wii, is very restricted. But that's why I think going through in a modern light, it definitely feels just like really restricted compared to some other games, and I think that's a shame. I think it works on the Wii. It's a really good Wii game, but definitely its restriction shows when compared to modern titles. Not counting Forces, but like other Boost titles. Just, it feels very linear, yet there's so much exploration. I wish there was more in the 3D sections, because the 3D sections do kind of feel like the hallways we associate with the Boost in a negative light. While the hallways can be fun, I do wish there were more open sections, but I kind of understand. But if there were more open sections, like maybe you had to go 3D on water in Aquarium Park, like you do in Unleashed in Autobot, I think, right? Yeah. Well, not just Autobot, but a lot of different stages in that game. And imagine, even though the drift isn't that great in colors, at least I would give it some sort of purpose if you had to like drift to different platforms to keep your speed up while you're going over the water. Even though you can swim, which is kind of weird. But I do appreciate, I love Aquarium Park. I love the music, which I'll transition the music in a second, I guess. But gameplay-wise, it's solid. You can swim, which is a bit odd, but with the drill, it makes Aquarium Park really fun. And without the Wisp or the swimming, I think it would be an absolute nightmare to go through 6 stages of hell. Even though some stages you don't even go into the water. It's just like a spring stage or a bunch of slow platforming, which isn't necessarily good. But the bosses are The Ferris wheel, like the Rotatatron and the Freshinator, are bad. Nostalgic for me, but bad. Not necessarily bad, they're just short and easy to the point where the Refreshinator is forgettable. Like the Rotatatron is the first boss, so even though it's not good, it's at least acceptable, but by the time you get to the Rotatatron, you expect it to be challenging. The pirate ship bosses are fun. Like, I used to not like them. They used to be the most just boring fighting the game for me because I just did not care, like less than the Ferris wheels, because at least the Ferris wheels were quick. I just didn't like the, but I've come to appreciate them once I realized, oh hey, at least these are like decently well designed boss fights. They're super slow, or not slow, but they're super short as well though, and pretty easy when you know how to get the drill wisp. But I love watching people that never played Colors before because they don't use the wisp to their advantage very often. It's nice to see them going through the bosses without dealing that giant amount of damage that just like makes the boss a piece of cake with the wisp. I used to suck at, like the first time I went through the game, I was horrible at the I don't even know what to call it, the spaceship, the blimp bosses where you chase after them. Starlight Carnival and Asteroid Coaster. I love those bosses now. I used to hate them with a burning passion because I was trash. But after that, I got good. I destroy the game because it's not that hard, especially now that they have infinite lives, which definitely should be toggleable. The Tails save should be toggleable. See, I'm just sprinkling in little bits of the remaster that need to be talked about. But the one thing that bothers me is I go to the blimp, the homing attack, right? You gotta spam the homing attack. But they have this not perfect homing attacks. Apparently it's sweet spot homing attacks. I try to get those, but the problem is, because it takes a little bit longer to charge those up than just spamming the homing attack, then Sonic might accidentally go back into the bullets as he's firing back and you're just trying to home on. This is the 2D section. And he he fires the energy bullets or whatever at you. And you fly back every time you hit him, but if you do the sweet spot homing attacks, you have to let yourself fly back even further. So not only does it take longer to damage him trying to do it that way, but also, you're at risk because you get hit by those energy bullets. You stop being able to hit them, and that's a whole entire opening wasted. Just because you wanted a little bit of boost in this, you're trying to be rewarded, and it takes it away. So that's the one thing that bothers me. Other than that, solid boss fights. Still not hard once you get the hang of it, but they are solid. You can spam until you get shot, that is. You can spam the quick step and just rack up the quick step bonus. The final boss is really good. The Switch version doesn't have the firework coming out of it, but the final boss looks really good. That one you can actually use the sweet spot homing attack on, and it's really satisfying. I love boosting into it, and he just starts bumping along the ground like some of the bosses in Unleashed. I love it. It's really nice. I always would have wondered what would have happened if they just used the Unleashed, like the PS2 and Wii Sonic Unleashed engine for Colors instead of making it a different game entirely. I think that would have been interesting, because then you would have had more boost-focused title for Colors. I don't know how that will have worked out, because the boost is not the same as Unleashed and Generations in Unleashed. Because it's a segmented thing to where you just use up like a whole segment, like a whole bar. Like the boost gauge is segmented off, so instead of being like one crisp, smooth, linear bar, it has like these little gauges that you use up like one space of boost. Which means you can't just hold the boost down, you have to keep pressing the boost, and it's really annoying because you can't just boost the entire time. You boost, then you stop, then you boost right again, right away again. Yeah, but, oh crap. Alright, I'm gonna move on from the gameplay. One last thing to talk about, the rival rushes. I love and hate because they feel very tacky, very tacked on, very lazy in like the display and everything. But I do like them because that's basically a speedrunning mode. Like, for all the people, like, I like the exploration and still trying to keep my speed up at the same time in Colors. It provides a nice challenge. But for people that just want to go through the stages at blazing speeds like you do in Unleashed and Gens, and even Forces to an extent, Those are good. Like the rival rushes, I wish they were on every stage, but since the game clearly was rushed, I think they're good for what they are. Some of the picks are a bit weird when like one or two of the stages I think are under a minute long. But I do like it because you want to just go insanely fast. You have no time to stop, and I think it proves that there is some flow to be had. Like, there are some definite stop and go sections, like that one heater level on, was it Sweet Mountain 4? Where you just step on buttons and avoid heaters. And that's a very slow-paced level. And there are slow-paced levels, like the spring levels. I don't actually get bothered by them. They're annoying. But they aren't, like, aggravating, nor am I just upset they're there. I wish there were more bonus things instead of mandatory. But it's whatever. But overall, the gameplay's solid. There are issues that have been slowly getting patched out, but I've still had the game crash on me. It's been annoying, especially when I'm doing the egg shuttle thing, which has you play through every level in the game in succession, and you can't, like, stop it. Like, if you hit restart, you start all the way from Tropical Resort Act 1. So when the game crashes on you, and you're, like, halfway through the game, you kind of get upset. Like, I can play through a game no problem. The game is really short. Especially without the cutscenes. If you're just playing through all levels, it's a pretty short game. But still, that doesn't mean I want it to crash when I'm doing well and I'm going through all the levels, making sure I get red rings. Like, I'm doing my best to get what would be an S rank. It doesn't really tell you your rank, but you do get a score for each level. I'm trying to get the highest score possible. It's really annoying when all that hard work just gets put down the drain because the game crashes. But I haven't ran into too many bugs. I had the game on, like, early release because I got the digital deluxe. So it's not like I just got the game after it's patched or anything. I've experienced it. I've had issues, but none have been that bad, at least not visually. Performance-wise, it's been a bit annoying. I don't like how the loading screens take forever. But that's just, it's not the worst thing. It sucks that the music doesn't start when I'm used to, and it really throws me off. And I think I'm done talking about gameplay, so I'm about to segment to the music. The music is what pisses me off the most, to be honest. It's not even, most of it isn't even that bad. I just don't like that some weird clock going off. Okay, I'm just gonna wait. Okay, like I was saying, the music isn't even bad. Some of it I think is even equal to the original tracks, but I want the original tracks to play because generally I just like them better and I think they fit the levels better. And while I do like some of them, some of the remix tracks, I feel like they ruin the feel of the first stages, and those are the stages you're going to be playing the most. So it's really upset when I get ready to hear like the heavy brass of Sweet Mountain, and then it has more of a lighter tone. Planet Wisp, everyone said it. It's atrocious on how it ruins the mood, because it's you want to start off all kind of melancholy and calm, and then it slowly starts beating up into a groovy vibe. Did I say vibe? Vibe. But instead, it's just a dubstep party the whole time. Whoa, let's bop! Yo! Look at this beautiful planet being taken over. All the water's getting turned into purple Gatorade. The aliens are just getting corrupted. Eggman is taking the life source of literal living beings. Let's dance! Let's break it down! This place used to be so peaceful until we brought in the rave music over here. Let's go! Woo! Now to finish it up, I'm just going to share my thoughts on, like, well, I guess the story first, but there's not too much. It's just a very lighthearted, comedic story meant for really young kids in a lot of its jokes. I did laugh at them for the most part when I was young, and as much as it is stupid, I actually do like the copyright law line. Not because it's necessarily good, just for the pure fact that it exists. And it's kind of ironic with the whole Michael Jackson thing. I hope they're getting that smoothed out, but I doubt it's happening. Sonic Origins, because I don't know, I think they might have it back because of Sonic Origins, but it's hard to say, I doubt it. Either way, I like that. The baldy nose hair is annoying, mostly because I hate when it comes back in Lost World. Sonic should have just brought it up at the end of the game. Not that I want to hear it again, but if he was going to actually bring it back up, he should have done it in the same adventure, like, or when he just saw Eggman next in, like, Starlight Carnival. In the original game, you can do Starlight Carnival first, and then Sweet Mountain. Either way, in the second cutscene you see of either of those planets where Tails gets mind controlled, he could have been like, "Ha, your plan failed, Baldy McNosehair." Oh, I can't believe I said that. But, like, something. Either way, like, the story itself, the plot of Eggman literally enslaving an entire alien race and using their life source to power his machines to control the entire world, and he spent all this money, or he just stole it, or as a side hustle or something. Apparently as a side hustle, according to the Twitter takedowns. The fact that he built that entire amusement park just to hide it up is pretty insane. I do like some of the banter between Sonic and Eggman, but most of the story is kind of a slog, dialogue-wise at least. But I do like some of it. And also, I want to know why he has the space elevator thing. Like, he has his Eggmobile, he doesn't need the elevator. Like, I understand the elevator he might use that just to keep it, like, all the planets in the amusement park attached to Earth, so they don't, like, maybe drift off somewhere else, or they're super far away, and he does need to make it look like it's going to be an actual amusement park, too, so, like, yeah, he needs to construct it attached to Earth. It would be kind of weird if he just had, like, this satellite in space with a bunch of planets. But why would you have a working elevator that you don't need because you have the Eggmobile that just allows anyone wanting to stop you to get up there? Like, we don't know, because, I don't know, they keep trying to have this whole two-world theory and stuff. I don't care. I'm just going to say that, because that was even before that existed, or any of that mess. It's confusing, but what if Gun, I'm just going to say Gun exists in this world, because it does, it should. In my head canon, it does exist in every world. I don't know. But what if Gun had gone up there to raid Eggman? I don't think they would have been able to stop him, but that would have been annoying and kind of screwed up his plans. I don't know, man. Crap. You go to city... Oh man, you go to Tropical Resort and frickin' a gun truck starts barreling down Tropical Resort. Wait, what? No. You go to Tropical Resort and a gun truck starts barreling down the dang street like it's City Escape in years. He's not even after you, he's upset at Eggman, but he's like chasing Sonic to find Eggman, and Sonic just doesn't understand, so he's just running from the truck. That'd be funny. Anyways, all that I really have left to talk about is just how it was kind of rushed. Sonic rush. Anyway, I just, like, the cutscenes could have been re-rendered. They have by fans. They could have been remade, re-rendered, all that jazz, in the new lighting engine, with the updated models. And that would have been cool. It would have made the cutscenes worth rewatching than just the AI upscale. That kind of looks pretty bad with the still, like, limited Wii graphics and everything. Like, it's still just stuff that was on the Wii, so it's gonna look outdated, and it would have been nice to see at least the models and textures and lighting get updated a bit. But since they're rushed, I can't completely blame them on that. I think it's worrying because they're taking time with this Sonic Rangers, Sonic Frontiers, whatever game. But it's still hard to trust them when Sega's clearly still rushing studios or something. This Sonic games are still being rushed after all this time. And it's just a shame. Yeah, you're not rushing your big main project, but if you rush everything else, that still puts a bad reputation on your name. And it just sucks to see. I still like it. It's really good. Like, Colors Ultimate is something I think everyone should play. Heck, I have a friend that's playing Colors Ultimate for his first 3 Sonic game. Like, whenever I recommend titles for people to get in the 3D Sonic, it's always the adventure games and Colors and Generations, because I think those are just the best to get in the Sonic. And I do appreciate them giving the options like the tail save, which is kind of stupid, but it exists. The tail save and the infinite lives thing to make it more accessible to new players, but it should be toggleable for veterans. I honestly wish there was a hard mode in the game, if anything, to kind of compensate for veterans, but also it would add to like the replay value, because then you'd have to get even better at the stages. Even if you already knew them, you'd have to learn to avoid new obstacles. I do kind of like it would have been nice. Like, there's a bunch of stuff this thing could have been. I think Metal Sonic was actually supposed to be an unlockable skin, but that wasn't a thing in the end, because this entire thing came out too fast. You gotta go fast, but there's a limit. And I think that's the lesson they still need to learn after 30 years, even though they take some time finally with one game. It doesn't matter if ultimately, Sonic Colors Ultimately, they just keep rushing their stuff. Everything else, it adds up. The bad often overshadows the good, so even if the next game's really good, it doesn't matter if they have like 5 other rushed games come out in between, it's still going to look bad. And it really sucks. And for a series that's supposed to be about speed, sometimes, ironically enough, it sounds really cheesy and like a joke. You sometimes just gotta go slow, take your time, and just try to get the best end result possible. And I think that's just a lesson we need to learn from Sonic Colors Ultimate. I still think it's an amazing title, and I think if you like Sonic or want to get into Sonic, it's almost a must-have to get. Especially since because of the issues there are price drops and stuff like that. But generally, I genuinely think it's fun. And it was my first ever Sonic game back when it came out on the Wii. It's what got me into Sonic because I was really young back then. But over time, all the toxicity towards it and it being blamed for the quote-unquote meta era, it got to me a bit. I still liked Colors. I had a soft spot, and it rubbed me the wrong way when people tried to actually say it was a bad game, because I was a defender. But I started thinking, I'm like, no, they're right. This game isn't that great. It's good, but that's pretty much all it is. And I just kind of shut down on it. I'm like, Colors is alright. I'd still put it in my top 10 Sonic games, but I can't believe just a year ago I was saying it's still my favorite. Like, I took the nostalgia glasses off. I'm like, yeah, this game is kind of But Colors Ultimate, going through with all the revamped stuff, even with its issues, I was excited. I don't know if it was the drought or I was able to appreciate Colors in a way I had not before. Like, outside of nostalgia, I was genuinely surprised at how much I enjoyed it. It felt like a whole fresh experience, but still extremely familiar. And I think that's what I really liked about it. Like, it was mostly the same game, and the changes weren't, for the most part, that special. They were good, and I loved them. But I just playing through the game again and giving it another chance because I treat it like a new game. Like, I spent my money, I bought this game again for a remastered, updated version, so it better be worth buying. And for me, it was, just because it made me look at colors and realize why I liked it. Because before, I'm like, oh, this is an alright boost game. This is an alright 3D, 2D Sonic game. But I played through it. I 100%. No, first of all, I got all the red rings, which I've done multiple times before, several times. I always go through, I think, 3 times by now. This was my 4th time going through to get all the red rings. It usually feels like a slog and like work. And I always used a guide to find them. I didn't use a guide, and some of the red rings are even mixed around. I just went out of my way to find them. Like, I had a general idea of where most of them were, but I still, for some of them, couldn't remember for the life of me. But I refused to use a guide. I found them all really quickly. Like, I just explored, and that opened my eyes to how good Colors actually was. Yeah, it's just an alright game for a boost game. For a Sonic title, like I said, it's just kind of solid. It's not anything great or like, well, it is great, but I mean for a Sonic title, in terms of how Sonic-y it is kind of It's good. It feels like a Sonic game. It just has some spaces where it feels like it's trying to be too much of a traditional platformer and less like Sonic. But the exploration, combined with still trying to get through the stage fast, just trying to do the best. Like I said, this first time I went through getting the S ranks, and then the achievements for everything, even though some of them were just for beating the stages. Man, it was so amazing. The credits are horrible because the music cuts out halfway through, but you need to go through to get an achievement, which kind of sucks, because I would play through the credits just to get like some lives and listen to the bopping music. But now I don't want to ever go back to that, because I sat there for like half an hour just staring at the credits and playing for them, waiting for them to end. Man, but the game from start to finish is just amazing. Trying to get every single achievement, trying to get all the S ranks. It was nice. I was getting frustrated because I'm like, I'm doing my best in the stage, why am I not getting it? Then I found out there's some ways, sometimes you wanted to go slower and get as many points as possible, and sometimes, even when you go slower and you got as many points as possible, you took too long in the stage because you don't need all those points, because you still get the time bonus, and that's still important. So you want a balance of speed and collecting. And I love that so much. I had an insane time. I looked at it in a new light. Colors is still not the best Sonic game, but it's a really fun time. It's a solid platformer. I suggest just go play it. It's on every platform that you could possibly want it on. I'm sorry for all you frickin' Google Stadia. Actually, yeah, I don't think it's on Google Stadia. It might be coming to Google Stadia, though. I don't think anyone cares. But still, give it a try. You might like it. You might not care too much. You might even hate it. But I'd say give it a try. It's barely over 3 hours long, so it's not like it's gonna take over your life and you're gonna spend all this time on a bad game. I'd say test it out. The original Colors is also worth it, but right now, if this is the only accessible version you have, test it out. I like it. It's not the ultimate version of Colors, because there are some issues and downgrades from the original version. There are some things I'm kind of disappointed with. It's not exactly the game it should have been, but it's enough to the game I wanted. And I'm satisfied. So I hope next time, I hope they keep doing remasters, and next time I hope they take more care and more time to really make the remaster the best game it could be. Fix the issues with the original game instead of creating new ones. And most importantly, I just want to see my boy Sonic thrive. I want my Sonic games to be good. Colors Ultimate is good. Like I said, I don't need it again. I don't need the colors too. Like, I wouldn't have been against it, like, if you asked me a year ago or 5 years ago. I would have loved the heck out of it. Right now, what I need out of Sonic is more adventure flavoring. But for what it is, Colors is still an amazing game. It's ironic that I think Colors Ultimate is the best Sonic game we've gotten since Generations a decade ago. It's a remaster of a game that came out right before Generations. But I think just give it a try. Go into it with an open mind if you have played it before. Like I said, I was getting down, I was losing hope in it, wasn't enjoying it nearly as much anymore, but it kinda opened my eyes, and it's still not the perfect Sonic game, nor the Sonic game I want personally. But it made me so happy, because it felt like playing through my childhood again. It was this game I grew up on, and a game I realized I could still enjoy today, and for reasons that I could appreciate it now that I'm older. Anyway, this video has gone on for long enough. I didn't think it was even gonna go much past 20 minutes at most. It's over 40 now. But thank you for watching. I really just wanted to update my thoughts and feelings on Sonic Colors from like almost a year ago, on Colors anniversary. Just thank you for watching. I'm gonna start trying to make more quality content, more Sonic content that isn't Colors. Really revitalize this channel. But thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, you're just absolutely amazing. Anyway, this is Lightning Warrior Etho, signing out.